All right, what's happening, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Crash Bang Boom Drumming Podcast. Today's guest is Jared Klein of Pennsylvania's Rivers of Nihil, and I caught up with Jared on Rivers' headlining tour in support of their critically acclaimed 2018 release, Where Owls Know My Name. And we got into heat waves in Canada and funny Canadian towns, how he got the call for the Rivers of Nihil gig and the process of learning, rehearsing, and writing for the record, playing with his brother and his musical family, his first drum set and most recent drum sets, extreme drumming influences and what led him to heavier music, botched gigs, and a whole lot more. Also, be on the lookout for Rivers of Nihil's tour with tech thrash wizards Revocation, September and October of this year. Those dates can be found along with other Rivers of Nihil related info in the description of this episode. Shout out to my sponsor, New Orleans Record Press. If your band is looking at putting out vinyl for your release, go on over to NewOrleansRecordPress.com and get real-time quotes, packaging, and mastering options, as well as a quicker turnaround time than most in the industry. So yeah, get you some vinyl. Go on over to NewOrleansRecordPress.com. All right, here we go. Jared Klein, Rivers of Nihil, y'all. Crash, bang, boom.
Crowds go mad with joy.
Well, Jared Klein, what's happening, man? How you doing there, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm digging this sunshine. You know, the alternative could be that we'd be in a basement of a metal bar. So it's better that we're on a rooftop with some sun and a drawbridge opening and a little bit of the city in the background. It could be worse, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Congrats again on this new record. I think it's killer. It's one of the exceptions, I think, for someone. I'm as admittedly not the biggest fan of like death metal per se. I think what y'all do and bands like Revocation does is kind of an exception to the rule. So I really dig it. I think it's a super cool record, and the critical acclaim is much deserved.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. So we'll get into the recording of that. In the meantime, y'all are on a tour. Tell me a little bit about this run, because this is the second to last gig of said tour.
Mm-hmm.
Who are y'all out with, and how have the shows been thus far?
We're out with Alter Beast and Inferi. It's been a really good run, doing a lot better than we thought, and we're all happy, and it's been fun. We spent like about 2 weeks in Canada. All the shows were awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
In Canada in particular, did you feel like you were pretty well received?
Yeah, and even when we got back into the States, it was good to be home, and the crowd response was good, and everyone was going nuts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where did y'all play in Canada?
We did Quebec, Montreal, Regina.
Got to be careful saying that one. I got a buddy who's from there. It's right next to Saskatoon as well.
Yeah.
Like, what's up? The craziest names of areas up there: Saskatoon and Regina,
Saint Sue Marie.
Yeah, some crazy.
Yeah.
shit. Holy shit! But the Canadians, it was well received in Canada.
Yeah, it was fun.
Nice. They're a polite bunch. It's as if they're Americans, but they're into a lot of the same shit, but obviously there's some perks there. It gets brutally fucking cold there, but they're all really nice. They seem like legitimately nice people.
Yeah, this time there was a heat wave, so we were just in the shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. You went to Canada and a fucking heat wave was there.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we're in New York. It's like 75 degrees today.
Yeah.
It's feeling pretty damn good.
Feels really good.
Well, tell me, how exactly did you get the call to join Rivers of Nihil?
Well, I used to play with my brother's band, Psychosomatic,
Okay.
and I met the Revocation dudes through my brother while we were on tour in Boston. And I guess fast forward, I just kept practicing, and then Brett from Revo hit up my brother and was like, Rivers of Nihil is looking for a drummer. Do you or your brother want to play? And my brother relayed the message, and he's like, if you don't want to do it, I'm going to do it. And I said, yeah, I'm a fan, and I like this stuff, so I'm going to just go for it. And if they like me, then I'm in, you know?
Yeah. So meanwhile, I guess it should be said that you're from Reno, Nevada. That's where you were at the time, I'm assuming, when you got the call. The Rivers of Nihil, all based out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, at the time I was living in Sac with my brother for a couple of years because we were just focusing on his on Psychosomatic and just like touring and stuff, and then we ended up not doing it anymore, just like going on a hiatus, and they're back together and recording a new album right now, which should be out soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, when you get the call, I guess you go out for the audition. Was how much material did you have to prep for? Did they have demos that were some pre-recorded stuff that you learned, went in, and then you auditioned for it?
They wanted me to send like 2 playthroughs. They wanted me to play Dehydrate from their previous album, or our previous album, Monarchy.
Yeah.
And as well as the self-titled Monarchy.
Okay.
And so I sent them that. They Brody immediately was like, dude, you're a heavy hitter, send me another one. So I sent them Monarchy, and he's just like, hey, if you want to come tour with us, we could do it. And the first tour I did with them was with Darkest Hour, and yeah, it was an experience.
Nice.
It was really fun.
Was there any of the material that would become the most recent record? Were y'all playing that at the time, or was that going to be down the line? You'd have to be writing and rehearsing and doing all that.
We were just playing stuff from Conscious Seed of Light and Monarchy. And I mean, they showed me the new stuff on that tour. Like, they had 2 or 3 songs written at the time.
Yeah.
And then after that tour, Brody just kept pumping them out and sending them out, and then I would just listen to them all the time. It was all like basically an actual CD, just perfect production.
Wow.
For pre-pro.
Nice. So, so I guess when they're sending out the demos, are you back in Nevada at that point and practicing there while these guys are in Pennsylvania? Is that the way it was working?
Yeah. After Darkest Hour, I moved back to Reno.
Okay.
To be with my girlfriend and be close to my dad and closer to my mom and stuff like that. So it's just more comfortable that way.
I hear you. Well, with the magic world that is the internet, that is one of the amazing things about file sharing and being able to practice on your own and work independently of a band and then get together and make the shit happen.
Yeah.
So I guess you're going through that, you're learning the stuff, and then it comes time to go to Pennsylvania, and it's the same studio and same crew that did Monarchy as well, right?
Yeah, and they also recorded August Burns Red.
Okay.
And they also play for Galactic Empire.
Okay.
The Star Wars band.
Nice.
Sick ass band.
yeah, man. Well, when you once it came time, I guess, from working on your own, going out there to record it, how was it working with them and tracking these songs?
It was good. Brody sent me click tracks, and for every song after it was done, and I would just be in my practice spot, just practicing the whole album, like all day, every day. And then they flew me out, and we started just jamming the songs. Like, it was basically just Biggs and I jamming to a click track, and he just wanted to make sure that him and I locked in well.
Right.
And sounded good, and all the parts were good. At first I was really uncomfortable, but it wasn't like my first time recording, because I also record for other bands got into the studio, just ripped each song like 5 or 6 times, and I finished it in 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah, really happy with how it came out.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, if you knock that out in 2 days, that's a pretty good clip, I would say. So you were clearly pretty well prepared.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Well, going into that, man, you mentioned playing in the band with your brother and stuff. How long had you been sort of pursuing the more extreme sides of drumming?
Probably like 16 or 17. Joined my first local band with some guys from high school.
Yeah.
And one of the guys I still write music with, and we just release internet albums together.
Right.
And he lives in Idaho, and we get together and record. And
nice.
I actually play in a different band with the vocalist from Alter Beast called Flub.
Okay.
And yeah.
So when you started out, I guess, then what were some of your early influences with said drumming? You know, if you kind of, because it sounds like you kind of started off playing some of this stuff from the get-go.
Yeah. My dad's a drummer.
Oh, nice.
He he's getting his chops back, but he just like couldn't hold a stick because of the medication, but he's a lot better now.
Oh, damn.
And he's been playing since he was 9 years old. He did 2 world tours with Engelbert Humperdinck.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, another insane name. That should be a town in Canada as well, right?
Yeah.
Saskatoon right next to Engelbert Humperdinck and Regina. And
Yeah, he did that for a bit and worked on some cruise ships. And my brother's a drummer, but he also plays guitar.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like if he's a multi-instrumentalist.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Yeah, and my mom used to tour as well.
What did she play?
She sings.
Really?
Yeah, she used to play in this hippie band in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So, damn, dude, you come from a musical family.
Yeah, and we all tour or toured.
Right.
It's in my blood, you know. I just just got to do it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
amazing, man. Well, what kind of music was being played in the house prior to you and then we'll get to like what led you down the path of the dark heavy music as well.
Let's see. I still listen to this music like all the time anyway, but like my dad would listen to funk because he played in funk bands.
Yeah.
Jazz fusion. What else? My mom would play just like, what is it, Paula Abdul.
Oh, really? Nice.
Just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Tower Power.
Nice.
My dad used to play with Kenny Rogers and Three Dog Night.
That's amazing.
Yeah, before they formed Three Dog Night.
Right.
Yeah, so like they were all like 15, getting stoned and jamming together.
That's amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, it's a departure from my upbringing because no one on either side of the family has ever been musicians as far as I know. I was the first one, but at least I had parents that were listening to music constantly.
Yeah.
So music was always, on in the house. And it's interesting, I mean, I talk to drummers and they'll be like, yeah, man, the TV was what was on. Like my parents didn't listen to music.
Oh, man.
It's a bizarre reality, right?
Yeah, that's a weird world.
It is. I mean, you just kind of take it for granted that you grew up in this musical household, and then you realize everyone's parents aren't playing music all the time, and apparently it's pretty often.
Yeah, it was a trip when I heard like families do the opposite, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially growing up in like such a musical family. That's wild. Yeah. What was sort of the gateway heavy band? When did you start getting into the heavier stuff?
Let's see. I moved to Reno when I was 9.
From where?
From Las Vegas. I was born in Reno. My dad got the Engelbert gig, so we moved to Vegas and then moved back to Reno.
Okay.
I think I was 9 or 10 years old. My teacher said I could skip 5th grade.
Really?
So I just like hung out for like 9 months.
Really?
In Reno, yeah. I just like stayed up and played Medal of Honor and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. And I started picking up music, so I had a pad and stuff, and just like would just sit there and do nothing all day, and
just playing by ear. Like, did your dad show you much in the way of rudiments, or was he kind of one of your teachers, so to speak? I guess.
Kinda, yeah. And then I just was like, nah,
right.
I could do it myself.
Typical rebellious kid.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb because I do. He shows me some jazz stuff here and there, but
yeah,
I get together with him as much as possible.
Nice,
but yeah, I'm mostly self-taught. I would play to like Chevelle and stuff like that at first, and then got into heavier stuff. But yeah, my brother, when I was 9, he gave me a couple CDs. He gave me Misfits.
Nice.
Earth AD, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gave me No Effects, Punk and Drublick, Cradle of Filth, Promise of Fever, Dimmu Borgir, Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia.
That is amazing. Every time I hear somebody say that, I'm like, that's amazing. Anyone can remember that full title. I would have definitely botched that shit.
I've been obsessed with that album since he showed me. And then he gave me Dying Fetus CD.
Okay.
So that got me into extreme music, and then
right.
I just like checked out like a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah.
After that,
nice.
I just kept it going.
That's wild. And to this day, I guess, do you? It sounds like, do you still listen to some of that stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we toured with Dying Fetus, I was just like Oh, yeah. Okay, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I feel like if I was playing that style of music, I would be taking eucalyptus baths and drinking rosé and listening to Hall & Oates every day after listening to such heavy music, just to cleanse my palate, so to speak.
Yeah.
But that's awesome that you can that it's still to this day is exciting for you. And I think at a certain point, if you're going to pursue kind of extreme music like that, you do have to immerse yourself in it and kind of keep up with it, I think, right?
Yeah. There was a time, I think like a 5-year period, where I would just like sit down and look up bands and buy their CDs and just like discover more bands and be obsessed with new bands that are coming out. Like in high school, I guess you could say I was an elitist, like, oh, if it's not death metal, it sucks. But now I'm just like, I listen to fucking Toto. Like,
right.
It doesn't
Jeff
matter.
Jeff Porcaro's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, like I'll listen to whatever. Like, the other night we were listening to Dr. Dre, The Chronic, and like Tame Impala, and like I'll just whatever. Yeah, I'll listen to whatever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at some point, I guess the conceptual side of like the death metal stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if you could of course listen to other stuff, because I guess if it's like. If a lot of this is going to be halftime beats with 30-second note bass drums and blast beats, if that's kind of conceptually what you do with a lot of this stuff, you can just practice that to a metronome and sort of increase your skill set with it without having to fully just listen to that all the time. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to other stuff, obviously bring those influences and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned drumming with your first band. What was your first drum set?
My friend Maddie, at the time, she had a First Act drum set from Walmart.
First Act?
Yeah.
It's not familiar with it.
It's like $100. It comes with a hi-hat and a shitty cymbal. And that's it.
And this is a Walmart brand?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
crazy.
They
used to sell First Act guitars and stuff like that at
Holy
Walmart.
Shit.
So it was like a burgundy drum set, and I was the only one playing on it. Like, I would just play like, I don't know, I think it was like Sugar Cult or something like that. I learned how to do that rock beat on her kit, and she's like, I don't want it, so you could just have it. And nice. I had it for maybe 4 years until my brother randomly showed up to my house with a black Mapex.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just like, I got you a kit because your kit sucks.
If you're going to be playing that shit in the house, at least have the sense to play a kit that doesn't sound awful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, and at no point was your dad's drum sets around, or?
When he wasn't on the cruise ship, I would play on his Mapex, or he had a Gretsch at one point, I think. So he would always be playing. And growing up, when I was like 5, I was like, "Stop! It's too loud! Like, that's horrible." But I was like embarrassed by it, and I just like want to punch myself in the face, like younger Jared, just like, "Oh, you could have learned earlier, or could have learned sooner." But whatever.
That's the way it goes, man. Yeah. Meanwhile, at no point, I'm assuming your parents were both listening to you playing on your shitty kit, thinking, "Oh my God, I wish he would stop that."
Oh
racket.
yeah. I bugged my roommates, my mom. Like, they weren't happy with me, but I played every day. Didn't listen to what they said, and just like, I don't know, keep on keeping on. Joe Dirt.
Yeah. So you mentioned the first kit, the shitty kit, then the black Mapex kit, and then these days I see. Are you playing an acrylic kit?
Yeah, I'm playing a DW. I think it's a designer series.
Okay.
Acrylic kit, and at home I also have a Tamastar Classic.
Okay. And now on the recording with the record, did you record? You recorded with wood drums. You didn't record with the acrylic kit, right?
Yeah, I recorded Matt Griner's kit from August Burns Red. I guess his kit was there, or it's the house kit for the Atrium.
Right.
That was a great sounding kit.
Yeah, it sounds killer on the record, man. Now with this acrylic kit, are you playing an acrylic snare as well?
Yep.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the one thing. I've never really messed with those. I always end up going with like steel or aluminum, snares, etc. But I have an acrylic kit myself. It's an older one, an old Ludwig, But
nice.
These newer kits are like a whole different beast when it comes to like the newer design and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that your preferred live kit at this point, is the acrylic?
At the moment, yeah. I'm really bad at tuning. I just need to focus more on learning how to do it better. But
right.
I don't know. I'm getting close, and also having help is cool. But yeah, I feel like sometimes I feel like a hack because like I could play, but I can't tune my own stuff. It's
right.
just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually I'll get that down.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if your drums sound like shit tonight, I'll be sure to throw rotten fruit at you and remind you that your drums sound terrible, dude.
Tell me.
Your drums suck, bro!
Get off the stage.
Well, man, it's a common occurrence, it seems, or common personality trait, it seems, that when talking to drummers, that oftentimes they were not always the best academically and in school. And I don't think it's a lack of intelligence. I think it's just a distraction and short attention span and general nervous energy, which then is often, when focused into the drums, you get to play explosions in time, which is appealing for someone who's fucking high energy and bouncing off the walls. Was that you for the most part?
Most of the time, I'd be sitting like this, like I am,
right.
just shaking my legs. And in class, I couldn't focus at all. Like, couldn't really comprehend that much unless I actually like gave a shit. I guess
that's the thing.
The classes I actually paid attention in was art, band, of course, and mythology, and that was it. But I don't know. I really enjoyed being in band on and off, and I was in marching band for 4 years.
Yeah.
I got senioritis, almost dropped out, but I graduated. So it's kind of hard to focus sometimes, but as long as it's drums, I'm there.
Right, exactly. It is funny, right? I mean, it's
kinda silly.
It comes down to, I think, interest, and if you're interested enough, you can have that sort of singular focus. The only other time that I feel about as focused as I do when I'm playing drums is if I go mountain biking, and that's because my life is at risk, and I have to focus so intently on where I'm going right there, and at that given moment, I have the most intense singular focus ever. That's the only other time.
Yeah.
But every now and again, but admittedly, I'll be playing do you find yourself wandering mentally as you play shows at times?
Oh yeah. If I'm used to the set, or like if my head's in a negative place, I'll start thinking about that, and then I'll like trail off and like maybe come into a different spot, like ahead of the song, instead of where I need to be, and I'm just like, okay, I need to focus, and then it's like there from here on out.
Right. Have you had any train wreck gigs? That's I like talking to guys about that on occasion.
I think in my first band, happened a couple times where I'd count off and I'd be on the wrong song, and it's even happened with Rivers. I think it was this was first gig I ever played with Rivers was on the Darkest Hour tour in Pittsburgh, and I was so nervous that I plugged my headphones into the wrong spot, and I'm like, I'm not getting my triggers or samples or clicks or anything, and I'm just like, oh, hurry up, and like I kind of made the show go behind like maybe 5 minutes because I didn't know what was going on, and so I'm like, all right, and plugged it into the right spot. So then I thought it was my headphones acting up, so I asked Brody if I could use his. And so I used his, and second song in, the headphones wrapped around my drumstick and stretched it, and I broke Brody's headphones. Sorry, dude.
Nice.
And so that was that. And then I had to like stop playing in order to get the headphones off the stick because it was like wrapped around that.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It was a weird thing. And at the end of the show, I put all my drums like over off the edge of the stage and over by the stairs, like stage left.
Yeah.
And I think I think it was the stagehand. They grabbed a cymbal stand, and one of the legs was right underneath the snare leg stand. So he lifted it up, and then the snare just fell 6 feet. And that was, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That was my first show.
Really?
With Rivers, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so a little bit of a train wreck, the gig then.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You're not going to have a good tour unless you have a shit show.
It's got to be a shit show. Get it out of the way, and then hopefully you're good.
Yeah, and every show since then just got better and better and better.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Right on. Well, man, I was thinking about it today. Who do you feel are like kind of in the Mount Rushmore of drummers? I know you mentioned some of the bands earlier. A lot of people talk about Sean Reinert from Cynic. I know Chris Penny talked a lot about him. Gene Hoglan, who a lot of people talk about,
Gene Hoglan, for sure.
Also talks about him. Who would you say? Who would be the top 5 of? And it could be modern guys, forefathers. Anyone.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough. I'd have to say George Coleus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gene Hoglan, Buddy Rich, Steve Gadd.
Yeah.
Lyle Cooper.
Lyle Cooper. I don't know if I know him.
He used to play for the Faceless.
Oh, okay. Right on.
He did Aberrant and Irreversible Mechanism.
Okay.
He has groove. He has style. He's well-rounded, like, with everything, not just tech, but he'll put some crazy off-time, like, groove stuff, and, like, he'll come back in, and it's like, wow, did he mess up the time?
Right.
Or did he...
Conscious displacement?
Yeah, he can fuck with you like that, but that's cool.
Nice,
I'm
man.
down with it.
I tell you, a guy that rips, and it's a band that y'all going to be hooking up with soon, is Ash from Revocation. I've had him on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
That guy totally rips.
Yeah.
And I know, in talking to him, it sounded like he was like a Gene Hoglan disciple. He came up under his wing and like just learned so much from him.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. But man, Revocation fucking rips. Oh my God.
I love that band. Absolutely.
They're so sick.
Yeah.
Just killer riffs, ripping guitar solos, just across the board, just Shredsville.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good, man. That's good. That's going to be a fun bill for y'all to be on that.
Yeah, and they're all good dudes on top
Absolutely.
of that.
Absolutely. And when so we're, like I said, we're wrapping up this tour, and then y'all pick back up. Is it September and then all of pretty much of October with
like,
Revocation?
I think it's like half and half.
Yeah.
With September, October.
Nice.
And then we'll be home for like a month and then go back out to Europe with Revo.
Will you go back to Reno and then after this, and then you'll just meet back up with them and then?
Yeah, I'll be working in Reno. I'll be doing recording with another band that I play with called The Undying, and then doing a couple music videos with a buddy. I also work at Tesla in Reno, and I bottle beer at a local brewery called Great Basin.
All the odd jobs.
Yeah, I try to work as much as I can, fit practice in there, make practice happen.
And touring and everything else. I mean, that's the hard balance, right, is to find a job that is recurring, yet will give you the flexibility to tour and do all this other stuff. That's a hard balance that a lot of people struggle with.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
They're like, most employers would like you there if that's part of the deal, right?
Yep.
That's crazy. Well, then after the Revocation tour, y'all are going out to Europe?
Mm-hmm.
For how long?
About a month.
Who are y'all touring with out there? Is it just different festivals or different bands? Or
Revocation.
Nice.
It'll be like part 2, basically.
Oh, wow.
Revocation, Archspire, and Surreption.
Nice.
So all heavy hitters.
Yeah.
On that bill.
That's
Those
amazing.
bands are crazy.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
Well, man, it sounds like you've acclimated to the tour life amidst all this touring. Is there anything that you find particularly tough about it, or do you just generally just love it? Or are you one of those guys that just loves being on the road?
The only thing that's harsh is like I have a bad back from a car accident.
Uh-oh.
So just like sleeping on the floor sometimes or on mats.
Yeah.
Or on the benches kind of like messes with me, but
right.
Just complain somewhat and then just pull through, just do it, But yeah, that's the only thing that phases me. I mean,
I always found it hard to not drink too much, and then I always would have a couple of beers before the show generally, but then it's like, obviously when it's done, it's like fucking party time, and then you realize the next day you're hungover as hell, and then you're like, I might have to do a little hair of the dog, and then the next thing you know, it's this vicious cycle of hungover to drunk and maybe not playing as good as you should.
Yeah, that was me last tour.
Really?
Kinda, yeah.
It's hard to find a groove sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
You get off to a little shaky start and then tumbles.
And yeah, I haven't really been drinking that much this tour. Maybe a couple beers after our set, but I don't really drink beforehand.
Yeah.
There were like 1 or 2 nights where I drank a lot, but I think we had an off day or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I feel pretty happy with not drinking too much this tour because we're headlining and
right.
Just want to make sure we deliver, you know.
Of course.
Just want to do the right thing.
Yeah, man. What about eating? Like, that's another thing, especially drumming. I mean, people, non-drummers and or musicians that aren't drummers, I should say, just don't quite understand that, especially playing physical music like this. If you eat too close to it, it's akin to like running in a sauna, you know, and it's like you get acidic. It's just fucking, you'll be vomited in your mouth the whole goddamn time.
Yep.
So do you have a rule of a cutoff for eating?
I wouldn't. No, I don't think so. The other night...
You could eat pizza like 30 minutes before you play a set?
I did.
You did? You're like, I did it.
I did it the other night, and I'm like sitting there burping during the second song. And at least it wasn't like half a pizza like I used to when I was younger.
Right.
I'd just be like, oh, God, I'm going to throw up just like halfway through.
Nice.
But, yeah, I don't know. I try to eat as much as I can when I can and keep myself caffeinated, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's pretty necessary.
Sometimes
I would imagine.
Sometimes it never works, but
exactly.
It's the addiction.
Fucking A.
Gotta wake up.
Right on, man. Well, it was good talking to you. Good luck with the show tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing y'all. Once again, congrats on the record. I think it's killer. So
thank you.
I'm psyched about hearing some of these jams in the flesh tonight.
Hell yeah.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jared, for hanging and rapping. Be sure to look out for Rivers of Nihil tour with Revocation this summer. You can find all that info in the description. And if you haven't checked it out already, check out my interview that I did with Revocation drummer Ash Pearson. It was a great episode and a really fun guy to talk to, and an absolutely sick drummer and a sick band. And them and Rivers of Nihil is going to make for one hell of a sick tour. So be sure to be looking out for that stuff, man. We'll catch you on the next one. Crash, bang, boom.